Welcome to the Jeremiah Show. It must be good to be king. This is the Grammys after party brought to you by Lash Fary, Distinctive Assets, and the Jeremiah Show. So you're probably thinking, weren't the Grammys back in February 1st to be exact? And yeah, they were. But you know, Lash and I are always a little fashionably late. Lash, thank you for being here today. It's the Monday, just for reference to the listeners, it's the Monday after the Academy Awards. And my first question for you, Lash, is did you go to bed yet?
Oh, yes. I'm a very good sleeper, so I have to get my beauty rest every night. Even when I'm up early, I tend just to go to bed early. So, now that it's got the daylight savings, it's a little bit back in my cycle. But a little sleep where I can, and lots of talking and interviews, but it's all fun.
I know. I was thinking also, man, the day after, you've been doing media like crazy for months. And I was thinking, this is probably the last thing you want to do is another radio show.
It is always a pleasure to chat with you, especially because you actually sort of embrace a lot of what we do in terms of, yes, we give celebrities free stuff and people are like, why do they want it? Why do they need it? They're rich. I'm like, it's not about needing it. It's about the fact that we make it convenient for them to discover new things. And I always love whenever I send you a few things to try out, you're like, oh my gosh, I discovered Greens First and now I love it, or this product or that product. And that's exactly what we do and why we do it. And I love that you are an exuberant, what do you call it? Brand tester, I guess we'll call it.
Well, I'll be a brand tester all day long. In fact, Greens First, you just referred to, I had one probably an hour ago. And I have reordered from them. I think I'm on my fifth time. And they sent me, I forget the lady's name from the company. She sent me Liz, she's amazing. She sent me another gift box with a couple different flavors. And she said, you got to try peach, which is my new favorite. So
she loves the peach mango. I love their new strawberry. They just did a brand new strawberry kiwi that we launched at the Grammys, and I love that one.
Oh, I haven't tried that. That sounds great. I'll have to try that. All right. Well, let me introduce you properly, or as proper as I can get here. Welcome back to the show. Distinctive Assets. It's an LA-based entertainment and marketing company renowned for popularizing the celebrity swag craze into a pop culture phenomenon. And Lash Fary here is the founder. The Distinct Assets company that he founded served as the Recording Academy's exclusive talent gifting partner for an impressive 26th consecutive year. Congratulations, Lash. Well deserved.
Thank you.
Distinctive Assets once again produced the one and only Grammy Gift Lounge. And you can see part of it behind me here if you're watching us on YouTube. They also produced the show's legendary presenter and performer gift bags. The 2026 Grammy Awards features the world's biggest acts, as you know, and all of whom were treated to a bevy of thank you gifts in acknowledgement and appreciation of their participation. This last year's gift suite was hosted by Tom's Watch Bar in LA Live. So again, my special guest today is a genius. He is the genius behind the Distinctive Assets brand. And he's known worldwide as either the king of swag, which is what I call him, or the sultan of swag. Take your pick. He's cool. Welcome, Lash.
Thanks. So great to chat with you again.
Yeah, me too. Like we were talking off air, it only took us like 3 months. That's why we missed the parties.
I know it was holidays and then craziness of Grammys and then some tech issues, but we're here. That's all that matters.
Yeah, my computer went down. I got a flu in between, but yeah, we're here. We're here. So good to see you. So, my first real question for you is Distinctive Assets. I mean, it's such an amazing company that you've built. Did you know from the very beginning that it would be so huge and that you would have such a lasting impression and make such an impression on the entertainment industry? What was your initial vision
I wish I could say it was all that. Like, I don't know that we necessarily had a vision. I was young and we were just having fun. And we were like, let's try it out. You know, we were doing pop up shops and we had all these brand connections. And a friend of a friend came to one who worked at the Grammys. And she was like, you guys should set this up backstage at the Grammys because the talent has all this downtime during rehearsals. And we're like, let's try it. What else are we going to do? So we set it up and it was an immediate success. We started doing all the different award shows, so many in a year, in fact, that we had to say, this is too much. We have to scale back and start saying no to some of the award shows or really just focusing on the big ones. So that's what we do now, 26 years later. But no, I had no idea. It was just something fun to do. And we were enjoying meeting these incredible artists and connecting them with brands. And the brands were having fun and getting something out of it. And the award shows themselves were getting something out of it because they got all these great gifts and they didn't have to pay for them. And the media found it interesting and it had never been done before. And, you know, even in the early days of success, to be honest, it was something I was like, oh, this will be great for a few years and then we'll move on to something else. And, you know, it's sort of like a pinch me thing this last Grammys where I was like, I think it's bigger and better than ever. It was our best attended Grammy Gift Lounge probably ever. And we're, you know, pretty far into it at 26-year mark. So it's just kind of nice that it's had this longevity and it's become the sort of media talking point and the sort of in the social consciousness of something that people know about. You know, I get pitched by people who are having bar mitzvahs for their kids and they want gift bags, you know, so the gift bag phenomenon has really taken on a life of its own. And, you know, I'm like a hamster on a wheel. I'm going to keep running until there's no more running in me, but we'll see how many more years we got.
It is really genius though, because who doesn't love a gift bag or a surprise in a box or a surprise in a bag? I mean, it's really something that you just get excited about it. And that's really, I think, to me, one of the cool things about your company is that you put smiles on faces and you, you know, as you said, I think I can quote you here that about distinctive assets that you said, we are acknowledging these amazing nominees while elevating and showcasing small businesses. I like that. Minority owned brands, female entrepreneurs, and companies that give back at a time when everyone can use a little more fun and frivolity. And I think that's so true. And you do that. So I think it's so great. How many, you mentioned that you had to turn down award shows and things in Hollywood. Do you know how many award shows there are out there? Like, if you
I don't. I mean, and also I think depends on how stringently you define award show. But I mean, there's probably 12 off the top of my head that are televised. There's some that aren't even televised. There's some that are now streaming only online. There's then tributes that aren't necessarily awards, but there's tributes. Like I was just talking to someone this morning. We helped them last year and we're going to help them again this year with the Whitney Houston Foundation, the Legacy Gala that they do every year in Atlanta, celebrating Whitney's immense legacy. And they're in their 4th year now. So, you know, that's not really an award show, but Jennifer Hudson performed last year. They have an even bigger performer on tap for this year. So big names and big shows and big events that are always going on. And then sometimes it's a smaller event, but it just sort of speaks to me. So my friend and neighbor, Cheryl Lee Ralph, the iconic Emmy winner, has an incredible foundation called the Diva Foundation, which is all about education and HIV awareness and treatment and helping people in that sphere of healthcare and making it democratized so that everyone has access to it. And we help her every year with her incredible event that's called Divas Simply Singing. And so while that's not the Grammys, it's kind of like a mini Grammys when you look at the talent that she brings in every year. So it's always a privilege to be a part of something like that.
I just had a guest on that was talking about that Whitney Houston tribute show that you mentioned. I can't recall who it was, but it sounds amazing. And I love around this time, you can't turn on a television or a channel without, especially the morning shows, without seeing you, Lash. You're everywhere at this time of year. I think it's so cool. Do you have a screener for your phone? I mean, you're like the guy in town in Hollywood that everybody wants to know, I'm sure, to get into a party or get invited or get a swag bag or hear what's cool. Do you need somebody to screen your calls around this time of year?
No one who knows me would ever call me. So it's all about emails. And luckily, my team is a good buffer for all of that. But I love being invited to things and I love being thought of. It's, even when you don't want to go to a party, you like being invited, right? So it's always that privilege of being invited and being able to say no or decline respectfully or, whatever it is.
Well, I remember from our conversation last year, I was amazed that but it made so much sense. I said, you go to all these amazing award shows, and you said, no, not anymore. I've done enough of them. You just work really, really hard to make them successful, doing what you do, but you typically don't go to the actual
I do
award show.
not. Like, I can't remember the last time I went to the Grammys was probably the year Barbara Streisand was honored and performed because she's always been someone who's very special to me. But typically I share tickets that I might have with clients who have supported the Gift Lounge and, been there to make sure that that they go and have fun. Because there's nothing like experiencing the Grammys. And I know you have such a foothold in the music business. There's nothing like when someone experiences something like the Grammys for the first time. So my incredible dermatologist at Davina Dermatology, she and her husband hadn't been before, and she's been helping me with lasers and reversing some sun damage. And so Dr. Hakeem and her husband went to the Grammys this last year. I gave them my tickets and had such an amazing time and seeing all their stories behind the scenes and having so much fun and creating memories. Like, that's way more enjoyable for me than sitting through a 3-hour telecast.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the Grammys here in this first segment because we missed the show we were going to do before the Grammys. So this is, like I said, our after party. Were there some highlights from the 2026 Grammys for you? Something that
there's always highlights, but I think that this year, one of the highlights was really just looking around and realizing, wow, 26 times doing this and best attended, so many amazing artists. In fact, I'm gonna have to put on my old man Kit's eyewear here to look at it, because I was trying in my mind as I was thinking about, you're asking me who was there. I mean, the people who came through our gift lounge this last year: Reba McEntire, Leon Thomas, Miss Lauryn Hill, October London, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Lola Young, Grace Potter, Trombone Shorty. I mean, the list goes on and on. Duff McKagan. Tiffany, remember Tiffany?
Yeah,
Somber, Best New Artist nominee, the Marias, Cat's Eye. I mean, Bilal, legends came through, and we're having so much fun. Reba was for sure a highlight for me. I hadn't seen Reba in many years since we had done the Academy of Country Music Awards, and I actually forgot what an amazingly kind and genuine human being she is. And so to see that kind of graciousness and kindness in real life from somebody of her stature was a nice little reminder as well. My dear friend MC Light, the hip hop legend, who also is the voice of the Grammy. She's the announcer during the Grammy telecast for many, many years. She was literally our first guest at our very first ever Grammy Gift Lounge 26 years prior. So the fact that she was there was a full circle moment for me. Grace Potter, who's one of my new favorite people. I had never met her, but we have friends in common, and she's like a little ray of sunshine in human form. So on the people side, there were many, many highlights. And then on the brand side, it was just kind of fun. My friend Liz, who I hadn't seen for a while and hadn't been part of it because she has been out of town, she was there with her client Greens First, and I know you're a fan of it. They were launching some new flavors and sharing that product, so that was great. We had Jimmy Jam, who's been a supporter of ours for many, many years. He was there with an organization he's a part of called the 100 Billion Meals Challenge. So that was great to have them there. Our friends at PETA were there once again. We got to bring in one of my favorite brands that we had met at the Latin Grammys, Dr. Simi. This is such an amazing company because what they've done in Mexico is truly astounding. So they have democratized making pharmaceuticals and things like multivitamins and supplements available to everyone of all income levels. So quality supplements and pharmaceuticals at very affordable prices. And now they're here in the United States. So they were there with their gummies and multivitamins and their great toys. Another great moment was MGA Entertainment was there this year with Bratz, specifically Bratzies, which are celebrating its 20th anniversary, Bratz was. So for me, that was really great because they were in one of our gift lounges 20 years ago when they were launching Bratz, and then 20 years later to be there celebrating the Bratz anniversary with these cute little charms called Bratzies was really, really great. So those were a few things that come to mind.
So much fun. Did you mention, I'm going to go back. There's actually so many things I want to talk about that you just mentioned. Number one, Dr. Simi or Simi. Is it Simi or Simi?
Simi.
Simi. Dr. Simi. You sent me some gummy melatonin in my swag bag. And I have a hard time sleeping. I've been taking them the last few nights and they are amazing. They're incredible. I've been sleeping so much better. So thank you for that.
Oh, good. Yeah, I just had some of their vitamins and minerals. They're a little multivitamin. These taste so good. And it's just like a easy way to get all that stuff into your body.
It is. It's great. I really, really appreciate it. Going back though to, what do you call your suite, your gift suite? What's it? Does it have an official
name?
The
Grammy Gift Lounge.
Okay, Grammy Gift Lounge. Describe what that's like, what it looks like. You talked about all these people that came through. What does that look like if I walked up on that?
Well, you walk into Tom's Watch Bar, which has hosted us for 3 years now, and you look around and it just looks like a room full of incredible products and displays. There's signage. It's kind of like a trade show, like if you went to CES, but it's like more variety than that. We had an incredible artist there, Dave Croblet, this year. He had a beautiful, stunning display of his works of genius with this beautiful resin coating on it. PETA was there making actual snacks for folks with just meat, specifically their just chicken plant-based product. And you just go around station to station. So it's kind of like trick-or-treating. Like the celebrities will check in, they get a bag and an escort, they go around, they hear about the product, they get to sample it if it's that type of thing, goes in their bag, take a picture, go to the next one. And so they go around and they get bags full of amazing stuff. And yes, they're rich, I get it, and they're getting free stuff. But what they're really able to do is shine a spotlight on these incredible brands, many of them small businesses, many of them minority owned, who could use a leg up. So, you know, Miss Lauryn Hill picked out a piece of art from David Croblet that she loved and that we're working to get to her. And to have someone like that with a piece of your art in their home, we just installed a piece of his art at Angela Bassett's home right before Christmas, just installed a piece in Tashina Arnold's home in January. So to have these television legends, these film legends, these music legends with your art can really change the trajectory for a brand or an artist or, you know, fill in the blank. So that's ultimately what the trade-off is. They're not really getting it for free. They're getting it in the hopes that they'll love it, they'll use it, they'll be photographed in it, that sort of thing.
I'm so glad that you mentioned Lauryn Hill because that's where I wanted to start. I wanted to go back there. I've seen her at shows. Is she recording and performing again?
Well, she just performed at the Grammys. If you missed it, it is worth watching that on YouTube because that tribute that she was a part of was a palpable wow moment at the Grammys this year. She really did bring the house down, and just such an unassuming person. When you meet her, you would never know this is, you know, Grammy legend. She's Miss Hill, how she prefers to be referenced. So you would never know that that was Miss Hill. And so we were busy and I actually personally took her around myself as she was going around. And it was just fascinating to see she was genuinely interested in the products and learning more and picking out the art she wanted and learning about Dr. Simi and Glycate, which was another supplement brand we had there, or picking out, she couldn't decide between two of the different Minky Couture, which, by the way, Minky Couture was also one of my highlights. This was the first time we had included them, the world's best blankets, and so philanthropic. But anyway, she couldn't choose between two. And I happened to hear that she was having a hard time choosing. I'm like, I think when you have as many Grammys as you have, Miss Hill, you can have both of those Minky Couture blankets. So we hooked her up with both of them.
Did you find out if she's recording a new album?
I didn't even think to ask, but I don't know if that's true. Usually that's what would bring someone back to the Grammys after many years of not being there. So let's hope so.
Yes, Miss Hill, please release some new music. I love her. She's just amazing. Another one that I wanted to point out, you sent me Homeboy, such a great organization. You sent me the book and you sent me a coffee mug, and I drink my coffee out of that every single morning, out of that mug. I love it. It's a nice black mug with the Homeboy logo on it. And I'd love to.
We got connected to Homeboy at the Emmys, funny enough, back in the fall. And I just fell in love with this organization. They're all about giving formerly incarcerated individuals a second chance and getting back on their feet and getting back into the workforce. And they have their own bakery that completely supports the organization and funds it, product lines, t-shirts, and it's really, really incredible what Homeboy and Homegirl, they've got both lanes, what they do.
I'm going to talk to you offline. I want to actually interview them. I'd love to have them on the show and highlight what they're doing. Another thing that I've seen everywhere, Lash, and you introduced me to this well, Amos, obviously the sweet company, but the audio lollipops. You introduced those to, you sent those to me last year, I think at the Grammys. And then this year, I saw them everywhere. Everybody's talking about them, almost like they'd just been introduced. And I said, I was in there. I had those.
We had these at the Latin Grammys in November, and I read the description. I'm like, I don't really understand how this works. You put the lollipop in your mouth that plays music through your jawbone using bone conduction technology. I couldn't fully get my head around it. And what's interesting is that's exactly the way it is when you tell people. And they're like, just put the lollipop in your mouth. And then people put it in their mouth and they can hear the music. And you see the look of shock and awe on their face when they're hearing music in their own head through their jawbone with these incredible audio lollipops from Amos. So yeah, we had them at the Latin Grammys. They're like, you have to be at the Grammys. And it was sort of the same ooh-ah thing all over again. Yeah. They also have these delicious peelers, these mango and sweet treats that are fruit-based. So really great stuff from Amos.
Those are gone.
Yeah, right. I can't tell you. I had a couple of friends who came through the gift lounge who texted me pictures of the empty bag on their car seat on their drive home from the gift lounge.
I killed the whole bag in one. I'm kind of ashamed to say in one sitting. So I'm peeking into the swag bag here. There's a couple other things. The Grow shower head.
Groa, it's a German brand, and again, everyone was flipping for that. You would act like people didn't have shower heads already, but I guess it just goes to show no matter how rich and famous you are, everyone needs a little upgrade to their shower game. So these are not only deluxe.
Especially, right? Because, sorry to cut you off. In California, they put the low pressure shower heads on, so to swap them out with one of these that's probably why everybody's so excited about it in California.
Well, they're luxurious, but they also help you conserve water. So it's good for the environment and your water bill.
Yeah, great. And the Universal Audio Vault, Lash.
I was so blown away that they wanted to provide that. And if that's your jam and you're doing home recordings and stuff, it really turns your home recording and audio setup into as close as you can get to a professional studio. So that was fantastic. Thinking and speaking of pros, this is another thing. I know you speak to so many musicians and so many musicians listen to you. We included this thing called AllTrack, and this is a performing rights service. So they basically go in and they do a whole evaluation of your royalty portfolio, what you're earning versus what you should be earning. And they, on average, can increase anyone's royalty earnings. And so everyone got a free membership to that, $5,000 membership. So I was telling Reba McEntire about it, and you could see her eyes light up with dollar signs when it was the idea of increasing the royalties that she's already getting. So that was a cool gift from AllTrack too.
So important to pay the artist and support them. So last thing here, another snack, the True Fru, those little raspberry chocolate candies. Love those.
I don't know if I love or hate True Fru because I cannot stop eating them. Exactly. They are so delicious. These are freeze-dried fruit snacks covered in chocolate. They have real fruit frozen in the frozen section of your grocery store too. I personally love the freeze-dried ones. These strawberries and cream, there's a strawberry covered in white chocolate, are my new favorite thing. They've got strawberries and dark chocolate, raspberries, blueberries, all sorts of combos, but you have to try True Fru.
You love to hate them. You love to hate them because, again, the bag's going to be gone. You can't, it's like the old Pringles jingle where you can't stop once you pop or whatever. You can't stop. You keep eating them. Love it. Loved all that stuff. Thank you for sharing it with me, Lash. So did you, before we take a quick break here, did you go to any cool after parties after the Grammys?
I had a party in my bed by myself at the end of that week. We had such a crazy long week. No parties.
Sometimes that solitude and that just resting by yourself with no noise and nobody around. That's the best party that you can go to. All right, we are with Lash Fary here today on the Jeremiah Show. If you're just joining us, we're looking into swag bags. We just had our Grammy party together, Lash and I. That was a lot of fun. Lash, let's move on to our next one. The Oscars we're going to talk about, celebrating Hollywood's biggest night with your bag. Everyone wins. It's a nominee gift bag. 2026, Everyone Wins nominee gift bag. We'll be right back with Lash Fary. Don't go anywhere.